This is one of the first maps of Transcona from 1912. It's a complete plan for how the town of Transcona would roll out as the new CNR train yards were built.
There was a big jump in population when the shops opened, about 2,000 people. And they thought that that was going to continue. So they were building wooden sidewalks to nowhere, all this kind of infrastructure, thinking that it was going to grow that way. Unfortunately, World War I broke out in 1914 and a fifth of the population enlisted. So it didn't get here as quickly as they thought it would, but it did get there eventually.
That map, along with tens of thousands of other artifacts representing the 100-year history of Transcona, now reside here at the Transcona Historical Museum.
It started off as its own town and was its own town well into the 60s and was very much born out of a relationship with the railway. In the 1910 census, there was, anecdotally, they say there was 8 men, 3 women, and 15 dogs here. Probably closer to around 100 people, but that's the story that we tell. That number jumped to 2,000 people in 2 years with the opening of and the construction of the CNR shops.
Though the trains are a huge part of Transcona's history, the museum focuses on all aspects of life in the community. And it starts with the building where the museum is housed.
This was a bank. It was built in 1925 as a bank. It's the only actually designated historical building in Transcona right now. We have our exhibits on the main floor, and then when you go upstairs, that's where the bank manager actually used to live. They used to live on top of the bank, and that's where we store our collection currently.
The exhibits on the main floor are changed out annually. That's the part of the museum that is open to the public regularly, though the upper floors of the museum are open for special tours once a year during the city's Doors Open event. Upstairs is where all of the artifacts not currently on display are kept. And that is where you'll find all kinds of items like antique brass knuckles and this, a mustache cup.
So this is a very ornate, beautifully crafted teacup that was used at the turn of the century when mustaches were quite popular. And this would act as a block to protect your mustache from getting wet when you were drinking tea.
The museum also has a significant collection of textiles with many hats and other clothing from various eras. This is a jacket worn by a female member of the Royal Canadian Air Force during World War II. And these are battle-worn helmets donated by soldiers who hailed from Transcona who fought in the war. Though the Transcona Museum has a wide variety of artifacts, there is yet one more collection that you probably would not expect to find in a museum representing a community. It's this, a very extensive butterfly and moth collection. The former principal of Centennial School in Transcona, C.S. Quelch, donated his collection of butterflies and moths. There are more than 10,000 winged creatures, all perfectly preserved. They are part of an extensive taxidermy collection at the museum, which includes some truly unique items like old arrowheads, a stuffed bat, and this, a beluga whale fetus in a jar.
So when the museum started, it started very much as a volunteer effort from within the community, and it wasn't necessarily museum professionals that were doing the collecting. So you end up with a wide variety of things in the museum, but it kind of gives it its character. And now we actually use quite a few of these specimens when we're doing school programs and stuff like that. So, or Halloween, this guy comes out every Halloween.
The Transcona Museum is open Tuesday through Saturday for most of the year with expanded hours in the summer. For more information, visit their website at transconamuseum.mb.ca. For Shaw TV's Go Winnipeg, I'm Kim Babbage.